Welcome to Bike Beat. The Yamaha Bolt R-Spec 2025 is a bike that doesn't try to disguise itself. When you first walk up to it, there's no mistaking its bobber inspiration. The lines are simple, stripped back, and muscular. It's the kind of machine you look at and immediately imagine cruising through downtown streets, parked outside a cafe, or taking that sunset ride down a quiet highway. Yamaha has clearly designed this motorcycle for riders who value personality and authenticity over bells and whistles. The Bolt series first appeared back in 2013, when Yamaha introduced it as a competitor to Harley-Davidson Sportster lineup. It immediately gained attention for being affordable, reliable, and easy to customize. Over the years, it's carved out its own niche in the market, not a Harley clone, but a modern Japanese take on the bobber style. The 2025 R-Spec continues that tradition, offering the same fundamental design but with incremental refinements that keep it fresh while holding on to what makes it attractive in the first place. The styling tells you everything you need to know. The raven black finish dominates most of the bodywork, with minimal chrome, just enough to highlight the V-twin engine and the exhaust pipe. The teardrop tank, low solo saddle, cut-down fenders, and exposed frame all work together to create the no-frills custom bike aesthetic. Yamaha understands that a bobber has to look tough even when standing still, and the Bolt R-Spec achieves this effortlessly. When the sunlight hits the black paint and the alloy wheels, it has a presence that feels custom-built rather than factory fresh. When you sit on the bike, the ergonomics immediately feel inviting. The low 27-inch seat height means you can easily plant both feet on the ground, and the mid-mount foot pegs strike a nice balance between forward cruiser comfort and more upright control. The handlebars aren't high or extreme, just slightly pulled back, keeping your body in a relaxed but engaged position. Fire up the engine, and the air-cooled V-twin comes to life with a deep, thumpy idle. It's not overly loud in stock form, but it has that heartbeat you expect from a V-twin, a sound that resonates with your chest as much as your ears. For many, this soundtrack is half the reason to ride a bike like the Bolt R-Spec. Twist the throttle and the response is immediate but not intimidating. There's about 65 horsepower on tap, but the real story is the torque, peaking early in the rev range. It pulls strongly off the line, makes short work of city traffic, and feels lively when rolling through curves at medium speeds. On urban streets, the Bolt R-Spec feels right at home. It's not small, but it's compact enough to weave through traffic with confidence. The steering is predictable, the low center of gravity inspires control, and the throttle response is smooth. In stop-and-go traffic, you'll notice the heat from that big air-cooled motor, especially on warmer days, but that's par for the course with this style of bike. On back roads, the combination of the 19-inch front wheel and stable wheelbase makes for a fun, confident ride. It leans into turns with more grace than you might expect, and while ground clearance isn't huge, it's more than enough for spirited casual riding. Take it out on the highway, and you'll see both the strengths and limitations. Cruising at 65 to 70 miles per hour is comfortable, with the engine humming along happily. The torque lets you pass slower vehicles without dropping multiple gears, and the bike feels stable even when the wind picks up. But because there's no windshield or fairing, you take the full force of the wind on your chest and helmet. For some riders, that's the essence of riding, that raw, connected to the elements sensation. For others planning longer trips, it means fatigue will set in faster. The stock seat is fine for short rides, but if touring is your plan, upgrading to an aftermarket seat or adding a padded cushion is almost a necessity. Braking performance is solid thanks to the dual 298mm discs. One in the front and one in the back give you predictable stopping power. They're not superbike sharp, but they're more than capable for a cruiser of this weight. The wave rotor design on the front helps reduce fade during repeated hard stops. In real-world riding, the brakes are reassuring, though you do have to apply deliberate pressure to get the most out of them. It's worth repeating that ABS availability depends on your market. If it's standard where you live, that's a strong safety plus. Fuel economy is another practical advantage. At around 51 miles per gallon, combined with a 3.4-gallon tank, you're looking at about 150 to 170 miles of range before hitting reserve. That's perfectly fine for day rides, commutes, and short trips, though for longer weekend journeys, you'll be stopping more often compared to larger cruisers with 5-gallon tanks. Still, this fits the character of the bike. It's a machine for short to medium adventures, the Bolt maintain a strong community of enthusiasts who constantly share ideas. One of the biggest appeals of the Bolt R-Spec is its potential as a blank canvas for customization. If you're the kind of rider who enjoys putting a personal stamp on your motorcycle,
designed this
is one of the most affordable and reliable platforms to start with.
Into cafe racers,
of course, we have to address the competition
and everything in between.
The most obvious rival is the Harley-Davidson Sportster series, but with an aftermarket exhaustor lineup toward liquid-cooled engines and higher prices, you can easily make it uniquely yours. The Indian Scout is another contender, offering more power but also coming in at a significantly higher cost. Triumph's Bonneville Bobber plays in this space too, bringing British refinement and styling but at a premium price. Against these, the Bolt R-Spec stands out for its combination of affordability, Yamaha reliability, and that simple, approachable character. At $8,999 MSRP in the US, it's one of the most wallet-friendly ways to get into the bobber scene without sacrificing build quality. So, who is this bike really for? It's for riders who want an honest, straightforward motorcycle that feels substantial but not overwhelming. It's for those who ride more for the experience and the vibe than for racing or long-distance comfort. It's for people who want to roll up to a meet, park next to bikes that cost twice as much, and still turn heads because theirs looks just as mean, if not meaner. It's also a smart option for new riders who want to jump into the cruiser scene without diving straight into heavyweight touring bikes that can be intimidating. The drawbacks are clear, and Yamaha doesn't hide them. You won't find rider modes, traction control, or sophisticated electronics here. This is a mechanical, visceral experience. The heat and vibration are part of the package, not bugs but features for riders who love the authenticity of a big air-cooled twin. The limited fuel range and seat comfort restrict it from being a tourer. But again, that's not what the Bolt R-Spec is trying to be. At the end of the day, the 2025 Yamaha Bolt R-Spec is a statement. It's Yamaha saying that there's still room for motorcycles that aren't about speed records, luxury touring, or high-tech gadgets, but about character, style, and connection. It's a bike that makes you look back at it when you park it, a bike that makes short rides feel like small adventures, and one that invites you to put your personality into it through customization. For under $9,000, that's a lot of soul per dollar. And that's our deep dive into the 2025 Yamaha Bolt R-Spec. Let us know in the comments what you think of this bike. Is it the right mix of affordability and style? Or would you save up for something bigger? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest, rider-focused reviews here on BikeBeat. Until next time, ride safe and keep the throttle steady.